and a warm welcome back to the channel of Motorbike Nonsense, and today's bike is the 2024 Yamaha MT09. This is the motorbike equivalent of Michael Jackson because it's had so many little nips, tucks, improvements. Actually, when you add them all up, you wouldn't recognise it from last year's bike. You know, the one that did that weird Earth song video with the elephant's tusks that went back into the elephant's head, and then Jarvis Cocker got his bum out in front of those kids. Let's not go there. Anyway, new MT09, it's changed quite a lot in lots of different ways, and it is biblically good. Let's get on with it. If you're not aware of what the MT09 is, well, where have you been for the past 10 years? Yamaha says it's the bike that changed the game for them as a brand because it's been a massively popular rival to things like the Triumph Street Triple R. This new version costs £10,106, so it's about the same price as your Street Triple R. And you can get it in a couple of exciting colours. You can get this, which is Midnight Cyan with the nice wheels. You can get it in blue, and you can get it in black. The looks have changed. Gone is the old Cyclops look. Now you've got twin headlights up here with these kind of jagged daytime running lights down there. It's kind of like Iron Man's mask. I've done a first ride video of this, and most of the comments were about its looks because, yeah, like most naked Yamahas, it's edgy and Japanese and cool. I don't mind it, to be honest, but I know some people will be like, oh, give me a Street Triple any day of the week. That's fine. I will compare this to the Street Triple as we go on. The exhaust is still underneath it. That's hidden away. The big change for me, though, is the tank design. It's this aluminium tank here. You think it'd be plastic because it's got these sharp angles on it, but actually they've invented a new pressing technique to get sharper angles. It's still 14 litres. It's got these new cutouts for your legs, which even at 6'3" work really well. I'll show you that in a second. It's got these acoustic amplifier grills on top, which are designed to accentuate the high frequencies of the airbox noise and fire it at your ears. It works on the MT10, and it works on this very well too. There are a couple of other little changes that you can't see. The intake tubes on the engine, it used to have 3, one for each cylinder. Now, I think it's the right 2 cylinders share one, so it's only got 2 intake cylinders. I think it's the right one that fires up into here. Other little bits and pieces, the pillion peg mounting points are now hidden. So I think if you want to whisk the pillion pegs off, you're not left with those shiny circular bits of metal where the bolts would go. Lots of little touches like that on this bike, as we're about to find out. Of all the little changes on this bike, for me, it's the ergonomic changes that make the biggest difference when you're riding it. It feels, when you sit on it, like a completely different bike to the last one. That's because you've got 2-part seats, so it feels a bit sportier. Still an 835mm seat height, that hasn't changed, but it just feels more like a sports bike. It rises up at the back slightly and you can wedge your bum against the pillion seat when you accelerate, and you will need to do that. The handlebars, they're a bit lower, or quite a lot lower, 34mm lower. That's a massive drop. 1.5mm closer to you as well. So it's much more of an elbows out, kind of chest to the tank riding position. A bit like the Street Triple R. And the old MT09 was a bit sit up and beg, and the engine didn't really gel with that. It wanted to be ridden like an arsehole, but you didn't really have the riding position for it. The mirrors are a bit bigger, the foot pegs are higher and further back. It's, yeah, again, a sportier position. There have been some tweaks to the frame as well. I think the engine mounts have changed slightly for more stability, and the headstock bracket as well has been tuned for faster turning and more agility, which is not what this bike needed. So yeah, Yamaha's made all these changes to give you more feel from the front end, basically, and to encourage you to corner like a knob. It's a good thing, right? Much like the sheets on your bed, the engine hasn't really changed. It's still an 890cc inline triple with a cross-plane crank. Still got 119 horsepower at 10,000 RPM, 93 Newton meters at 7,000 RPM. Being an MT model, that stands for Master of Torque, apparently. It has got loads of grunt through the mid-range, as we'll find out in a minute when we take it for a ride. But yeah, the other changes to the engine are really, really minor. They've given it more dog teeth in 3rd to 6th gear for less of an ignition cut when you're changing gears, and the generator puts out an extra 100 watt of power. I probably look quite weird filming this. That cyclist is probably about to report me and put me on a list. About time. Right, let's talk about the electronics, and we'll start with the new screen. It's a new 5-inch TFT, which you probably can't see because it's too blinding, but I'll stick some B-roll in. There are 4 themes for this, which I'll stick up on screen, so you can have this kind of more traditional digital rev counter, or a few which kind of mimic the ones I didn't like on the Triumph, to be honest. But my favourite thing is you can download an app on your phone called Garmin Street Cross, and then you accept this, and look, I've got turn-by-turn sat-nav and a full map sat-nav on the screen beamed from my phone. It's actually really good. I've been using it. you can kind of do a couple of things from the bike itself. So you can say, oh, show me a nearby gas station, because we're all American, aren't we? Which is just massively helpful on a ride. Or you can put in more complicated routes using the app on your phone. I really like that. It's really neat, and it didn't take me more than about 2 minutes to set my phone up with it, which, you know, often these things on bikes take forever, and then you just want to shoot yourself. But yeah, that is a really cool, impressive thing. Other good things, new switch gear, yay! You used to have to adjust things using a scroll wheel. It's easy for me to say here, but it's quite hard to reach when you're accelerating. So now over there you've just got the mode switch. Over here you've got this 4-way digital nipple of joy. You've got a cruise control button, you've got a home button, and look at this, slightly unusual indicators. I'm not a massive fan of these yet. I have kind of got used to them. So you can do a light press to flash it 3 times, or press it all the way in to keep it on. That will auto cancel after, I think it's 15 seconds or 150 meters, whichever comes first. But yeah, I struggle to feel the kind of first detent when I'm riding with gloves on. I just end up smashing it. And to cancel it, you just press it the same way and the same hardness as you pressed it. So if you did a big press left, to cancel it, do a big press left. It's actually easier than I've made it sound. In terms of riding modes, you've got the usual street, sport, rain, custom 1 and custom 2. And to customize them, you just go into settings, then you go vehicle function, YRC settings, YRC modes, and you can do this on an app on your phone and import it to the bike, which is quite cool. But there's not actually that much to do. There's power, traction control, slide control, wheelie control, quick shift up and down, and sorry, I burped, and brake control. Now you'll notice the quick shifter has 2 different modes. You want it on 2 because the quick shifter has now got the 3rd generation Yamaha quick shifter, which means you can use it on a closed throttle to go up and an open throttle to go down. And you can use it from above 9 miles an hour. Other new things, the cruise control works from 3rd gear now, so you can use it in a 30 limit more easily. And yeah, obviously it's got 6-axis IMU, so you've got lean sensitive traction control and all of that good stuff. It's got a slipper clutch, it's got new engine brake regulation, it's got pre-wiring for USB-C and pre-wiring for heated grips. Have I said enough electronic words? Look, there's my tripod. Isn't it lovely? It's made of carbon fibre. The motorbike isn't, but that's all right. Well done for surviving the word soup section of today's video. There are a few final tweaks I have to mention. On the suspension front, at the front, you've got more damping, stiffer spring rates. At the back, you've got softer damping than before, and you've now got an MT09 specific Bridgestone S23. I think this is one of the first bikes to use an S23 as an OEM tyre. It's just come out. It succeeds the S22, which I've got on my MT10. I bloody love it as a fast road tyre, and this apparently warms up more, and it does feel really, really good. I'm going to see these chicken strips off in the next couple of days. But yeah, it's also got new Brembo radial master cylinder on the front brake for more linear braking. But I'm bored of talking about it. I just want to ride it. Can we go and do that now? Thanks, bye. Yeah, let's go for a ride. It's quite a quiet bike, as you might expect from the exhaust point of view, being Euro 5 plus. It's not got a huge 3-cylinder cacophony, but show me a bike that does these days and I'll show you a perfectly ripe 50-year-old scrotum. No, I won't. Why did I say that? But anyway. Yeah, you end up doing a lot of that on this bike. Pointless acceleration through the mid-range, feeling yourself being pushed back in the seat and laughing your head off, because this engine is the star of the show, despite the riding position. It's just such a beautiful thing, just through 5,000 RPM. It goes so hard, and you might not expect it. You might think, oh, middleweight, it's like the Street Triple, and especially the Street Triple RS, that's quite revvy. You've got to rev that quite hard to really get going properly quick, but this is a different kind of character of bike, really. It's stronger in the mid-range than the Triumph. It's perhaps got a little bit less of a top-end rush, but for road riding, I'd say you have more fun on this more of the time. Well, we'll get some fast roads in a second, but ergonomically this is kind of the dream for me. I'm 6'3", I'm just under 100 kilos, hopefully now, instead of big poo. And yeah, you are leant forward more, as I showed you earlier, and when you're riding it, you just feel more in command of the motorcycle, if I'm going to be an absolute wanker about these things, and I just was. So yeah, but as we'll find out in a second, the flickability of this bike is just on another level, but it feels controlled as well, and it doesn't feel flighty, which is Some kind of magic that Yamaha has woven. Right, these hedges need cutting so motorcyclists like me don't die. I do find the clutch bites quite far out on this one, but yeah, it's got this thing where when you accelerate in first and second gear really hard with some steering on, it lifts the front wheel off the floor for you to help you straighten it and put it back down. It's just a marvellous thing. I don't know how they've done that. Right, as I said, we're about to do actually some 70 miles an hour stuff, so I can tell you it's a naked bike and has no wind protection. There you go, I've basically done it. Yeah, it's just got so much grunt that you end up looking for crests and just accelerating in second, third gear to get the front wheel up, if you're of a certain frame of mind, which I definitely am right now. I've done the indicators wrong. I've done the indicators wrong. Whoops. I think I went right when I meant to go left. Still getting used to that. Yeah, still getting used to that. Right, I am just going to quickly get up to 70 miles an hour on dual carriageway, talk about what this would be like if you want to take it touring, because I'm a great believer in the best touring bikes being naked bikes because of, well, just having fun on them, frankly. But anyway, let's get around here and open it up a bit. Yeah, you get up to 70 miles an hour and beyond pretty quickly on this. It's a very fast bike, and now we're here. I could do this all day. I don't have a screen. I'm not getting any wind deflection. I think there is an accessory screen you can buy on this, but I don't go naked, man. Go naked, accept the raw beauty of nature smacking you in the face. The real thing here is that we've got cruise control that is easy to set with your left hand, no messing around with the wrong hand or anything like that. And as I said, it goes down to 30 miles an hour, which is great for speed cameras and towns and things like that. The seat comfort on a smooth road is actually okay. I don't get too much of a sore body on this. It's just when you got a bumpy road, the rear shock is still pretty firm, not outrageously firm. I think it's better than it used to be. But yeah, I could tour on this. It is a small bike physically. I'm 6'3", so I'm a pretty tall guy and I'm a bit fat as well. But I've been really comfy on this bike. I feel like I fit on it. I might look a bit silly on it, but I feel good on it. I don't get cramps in my knees or anything like that. So yeah, I would absolutely take this to Europe and join the other French and German Yamaha owners in breaking all of their local road laws. Oh yeah, look, open throttle, accelerating, downshift, downshift, downshift. It works really well. I'm decelerating and it'll let me upshift as well. Neato. Oh my gosh, the handling. Now I know I've said that this has stacks of mid-range. Don't come to expecting litre bike tractability. Like 6 gear at 40 miles an hour, we're doing under 3,000 RPM. It pulls, it doesn't exactly go like a bat out of hell until you're doing 4,000, 5,000, that's when it really pulls hard. But within like the context of an 890cc bike, it's pretty sodding rapid. It's less raw feeling than the KTM 890 for sure. I fit it a lot better, the fit and finish is a lot better as well. It's marginally less prone to angriness, but it's still a pretty angry bike when you grab it by the neck. Look at those TVRs. Real world application of the quick shifter there. I was accelerating for an overtake. I wanted a bit more punch, so I downshifted while accelerating and then got into second and so yeah, that sounds like it might be a gimmick, that quick shifter that you can use all the time, but it works really, really well. Not sure I can exactly feel the extra dog teeth on 3rd, 4th and 5th and 6th gears, to be honest, but the quick shifter is smooth and there isn't much of an ignition cut in between shifts, so maybe I'm feeling it, I don't know. I'm having to think about the indicators a little bit. Takes a bit of brain space until you get used to it. Look at that sunny day in the Surrey Hills on... Oh, look at that road, that's crap. Let's go. Again, that performance is just a nice amount for the road to really give you a thrill without sending you straight to prison speeds. If I went full throttle my MT10 back then, I'd probably be doing 110 miles an hour by this point, and I'm not, obviously, because I'm filming, but this, I'd say it's a better bike for the road than my MT10, almost without doubt. It handles better, it's got sharper flickability. The engine's actually kind of more exciting at legal speeds as well, makes a great noise. The MT10 second gear, by the time you've got the best noise, you're doing 80, which is not legal. But anyway, down here, it's just... it feels really well sorted. It's got almost a Triumph level of decent ride quality, but also nimble handling as well. It feels like this has been developed on European roads, on British roads that were a bit crappy. The old MT10 could get a bit flighty and a bit stiff when you didn't want it to be. This just feels really confidence inspiring, and the seat is nice for hanging off as well. Fucking hell, it's it is fast though. But yeah, for me, it's just the agility of it, like on a twisty road. The fact that when you push the handlebar, it just goes, but it doesn't flop like in a kind of uncontrolled, falling off the edge of the tyre sort of way. It's just got, I don't know, you feel like you can adjust your line all through a corner. It's just like a little housefly, annoying you in your study, bang against the window, just wanting to go fast and be chucked into corners. And with everything switched on, it'll let you do power wheelies in first and second. Who bloomin' Ray. One other thing that you hooligans might approve of is you can go into vehicle function, stability control on and off, and then you can individually turn off wheelie control, traction control, or slide control. So you can have wheelie control off, but traction control on. Right, so yeah, niggles. Let's talk critically about this. As I've said, the rear shock over really bumpy roads can sometimes get a little bit uncomfy, but so what? It's fine. It's fine most of the time. That's really about it. They've thought of the daily driver stuff, like they thought of the cruise control. The mirrors are bigger, they're really good. I've just hit a sandwich packet, didn't feel it. It's comfortable to sit on for most of the time. The pillion seat, yeah, it's pretty high, to be honest. It's pretty high, but it's probably better than before where it was one bench seat. But I've not taken a pilly on this, so I can't really comment on that. It's just a wonderful machine. It's a real feel-good weapon for the road. And I think I'm about to say I've been getting 50 mpg. That's a lie. Outro, Tim. You're getting 56 while dicking about. Now, while I'm pottering through the beautiful village of Ockley with its meadows, cricket pitches, pubs and Hyundai Ioniq 5s, I'm going to answer some questions that I think I know I'm going to get. Has it got a fuel gauge? Yes, you can have a fuel gauge on the dash there. But not only that, it will tell you a predicted range, which isn't massively helpful because, if I can find it, it just says it's got over 120 miles. It's got range of over 120 miles and half a tank. I know the fuel economy is pretty good, but I don't think you're going to get 240 miles from a tank on this, but there we go. And yeah, I am cruising in fourth gear at 30 miles an hour. It's bliss. And I know that when I come out of this, I can go bah, 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 bah. Happy days. Now we are about to go to a proper conclusion, but from a riding perspective, it is really hard to think of a bike that is more fun on a British B road that can also do motorway miles. So not like a single cylinder supermoto or something. This just treads that really nice line down the middle between a naked bike and supermoto sort of antics, yet is still usable for touring, for motorway miles, for cruising with cruise control on, get the heated grips on it, all that kind of good stuff. And it's just got excellent handling. I do wonder what they're going to do with the SP version. That has got Stylema brake calipers, which will probably feel stronger, but for the first time in a long time, this is Yamaha with really, really good front brakes that are consistent, that are linear, and that feel powerful, and like they will stop you from 80 to 0 without a problem. So yes, it's a very, very good bike. Let's do the conclusion. I've waffled, as usual. When I waffle, it's because I'm trying to find bad things to say about a bike I really love. Been critical.
Right, time to sum up my thoughts on the 2024 MT09. I think I've giggled more in this video than I've giggled in a video on a motorbike for a very long time. This bike has one thing on its mind, and that is outright fun on the road. It feels as if that engine finally has the riding position in the chassis that it needed to encourage you more into attacking corners rather than just straight line wheelies and dicking about. It's just a better rounded bike because of it. Now you've got more weight over the front end, but it's still comfortable. It's still a really good daily. The fuel economy is good. Your bum might go a bit numb like your mum on long rides and the ride is a bit firm, but when you're on a B road, you honestly don't care. It makes a great noise. You get the intake noise through the tank. The brakes are good. It feels very well controlled. It's just so agile that you do end up riding it like an absolute cock. And I think when you look at Yamahas and other Japanese bikes on paper on YouTube videos, you might think, oh, it hasn't got the character of a Triumph or something like that. But go and test ride one of these and then see if you still think that, because I can guarantee you'll want to buy one or hand your driving license in at a local police station. It's a brilliant bike. The flaws really for me are whether you like the looks or not, but I won't comment on that because it's subjective. I've been getting 50 mpg out of it, that's fine. It's maybe a little bit heavier than Triumph, possibly, I can't remember. It's about 193 kilos this. It has got heavier because of all the electronics. But trust me, you don't notice it when you're riding it, and it still feels like a light, manageable bike to push around your garage. What a boring thing to say about such an exciting bike. I'm sorry to end on that note, but yeah, go and have a test ride on one, and if you're not in sport mode laughing your head off, I'll be very, very surprised. Well done, bloody Yamaha, bloody again. Oh, one last thing. I've not found myself thinking, ooh, I'd hold out for the SP model because of this, that, the other. I just wouldn't. Riding this in isolation, I've not ridden the SP yet. They're not in the UK yet. This is an absolute riot of a machine. 10 grand, go and get one. Or don't, and then go get a GS or something. Whatever, don't care. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, you get a gold medal made of chocolate. And go down to the comments once you've liked the video and subscribe to the channel, and leave me the Japanese phrase for, I've fallen off the back. How did that happen? Goodbye.